Happy Monday. It is week 2 of November's new pattern November. And last week was a little bit of a mess. Just want to be completely honest with you all. If you're new to my channel, I want to say welcome to the Hot Mess Express that is my life. My name is Aronica B. Cole, and I am a mom of 3 who is also a plus size sewist who is married to the love of my life. I share about sewing, about life, about parenting, about marriage, about anything that people want to watch here on my channel, but primarily we talk a lot about sewing. And if you are new here, I want to make sure that you know that you should be subscribed because we do a lot of fun things over here, or at least we're developing into more fun things because I have committed to growing this YouTube channel. I think that sharing on Beyonce's internet is definitely one of the things that more people should do, right? Because it normalizes a lot of these experiences that we're going through that we often feel alone in, i.e. this week, me feeling like I have no idea how to actually sew when that is not the truth at all. But if you're already a subscriber, welcome back, friend. But let's go ahead and jump into week 1's of New Pattern November recap. All right, so listen, last week in a word was developmental, right? One of the things that I didn't expect is to have such a hard week in sewing. Now, just as a refresher, last week I was not feeling very well at all. I was coming off of being sick for a week, and I ended up like not sewing until probably about Wednesday because I still felt really, truly awful. But just as a reminder, if you have not already watched week 1's introduction to New Pattern November, go ahead and check it out right here. I'm hoping that this is actually where it goes because, you know, I'm still new to YouTube, so whatever. But as a reminder, here are the patterns that I used. I did the Mitchell trousers from Closet Core. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you may have already seen or heard a little bit of a review. I also did the Arctic Pullover from Ellie and Mac. I did the Marlowe Shawl cardigan from Petite Stitchery. Now, full disclosure, I have sewn different versions of the not the Ellie and Mac, but of the Petite Stitchery Marlowe cardigan. Okay, so the Marlowe pattern actually has a pullover option, a hoodie option, and some other things. But this was my first time sewing the shawl cardigan version of it. I also did the Tazzy Tee from Laura PR. I did the Dana Bralette from Seamwork. And out of all of those patterns that I tried out, only 2 are actually really wearable. And I was definitely feeling like, do I even know how to sew? I do. Spoiler alert. So the first piece that I made was the Mitchell trousers. Now, the Mitchell trousers are a more tailored trouser fit, and they feature like a really interesting pocket. So I'm going to show a picture of it right here. And it's a really dope looking trouser, right? I was super excited about this. And I knew that it was going to kind of challenge some of the skills that I have been a little afraid to use. Now, the first thing that that challenged me, of course, were the welt pockets. My first experience with welt pockets was not the best. Since then, I've done other welt pockets, but because my first experience with welt pockets was a little not great, I'm always really hesitant about doing them. Except that the instructions I felt for these welt pockets were really good. So in the words of my man Norris, the pockets came out immaculate. But really, my pockets did come out really excellent, and I was really proud of myself with those welt pockets. I did 2 of them, and even looking at the pinks now, I'm like, oh, those welt pockets were lit. Fantastic, right? I also did a zipper install that was amazing. So I've always kind of steered clear of away from like a tailored trouser because zippers, even though there was a point in time that I was like installing zippers like nobody's business because that's how I made a lot of my clothing nursing friendly. When I was breastfeeding my son, I would just pop a zipper into the side seam and baby, we were ready to go. But for some odd reason, doing zipper installs right now is just a little frightening for me. And I think it's because on my BERNINA, and I sew with a BERNINA B590, I just generally have not used my zipper foot very often. And I have the regular zipper foot and I also have the invisible zipper foot. And for some odd reason, I just don't use them often. And I don't know why. I love a zipper. I love being able to zipper things up. So I got to get over it. So I did that. But those were the only two good things. So now the directions for the Mitchell trousers were just not really clear to me. In addition to some other people who have tried it, they also expressed the same thing. So I do think that they could have been better illustrated or more clear for people. I am probably an intermediate advanced sewist, and there was a lot that I just didn't get when I was reading it. Like, for example, they refer to the waistband as facing, and I understand why they did that, because the waistband is technically on the inside of the pants, because there is no separate pieces for the waistband, but that it made it really confusing. I was like, am I cutting interfacing, or like, what does this mean? So some of the directions just were not very clear. One of the other really challenging things is I tend to always increase the rise of my pants in addition to doing full booty adjustments. Now, the way that the pockets are designed is that, like, it affects the seam, right? They are definitely considered inseam pockets, but they're not your typical inseam pockets, right? But because there were no cut lines on where to increase the rise there, I was really befuddled when it came time for me to assemble this pattern. And then when I tried them on, and I'm going to put the video of me trying them on right here, y'all, it's just not flattering, right? So I'm obviously plus size, and I know a lot about my body type. And like, I know that I have a larger stomach. I know I've got a fupa. But y'all, this pattern really highlighted my fupa in not a great way, like in a way that made me feel really uncomfortable with my body. And I didn't like that feeling at all. Now, one of the things that I did do was I reached out to Closet Core Patterns at the behest of my friend Brandon, Happily Dressed. And I did talk to them just kind of about some of my fit issues. They suggested that I increase the side seams a little bit more. And I was like, even more, because I think I probably added about 1 to 1.5 inches to the rise. So because of how open they were to helping me navigate the pattern, I think I will make it again. I'm happy that my brain fog has cleared from being sick. So we will probably revisit this pattern again. Not this month. We'll probably wait until maybe next year, a different month, because this month we're doing new patterns. All right, friends. So speaking of new patterns, another failed sew was the Arctic Pullover from Ellie and Mac. Now, full disclosure, I used to pattern test for Ellie and Mac, so I'm a little familiar with their drafting and some of the other things. Their patterns tend to be a little on the easier side, which I liked. But y'all, this Arctic Pullover, trash, basura. I was making it for my husband because, one, I had found this inspiration picture on Pinterest. And y'all, the picture of the pullover was so sexy. And I was like, my husband needs this. Also, I like how he looks in pullovers. So I was like, definitely. And also because I know that he likes to wear like Henleys and stuff like that. I was like, this will be an excellent pattern for him. So there was literally nothing good about this pattern. Nothing. My husband is exceptionally tall. So not exceptionally tall. He's about like 6'3", 6'4". His wingspan is 7 feet. And most pattern companies like Petite Stitchery or Patterns for Pirates, they have cut lines for short, average, and tall bodied people, right? Well, there was nothing. There was none of that in this here pattern. I did go ahead and extend like the some of the bands so that they would be a little bit longer for him. And also, I mean, the tutorial was terrible. I mean, it was like the worst written dissertation in the world, because there were so many words on how to put together this pullover, but the words were like, the directions were just long and wrong. It was terrible. Now, I put in plackets, many a placket before. Like, I have made a Henley dress in under an hour, right? Putting in a placket with no problem. But for some odd reason, this placket, and I was just trying to follow the directions, because one of the things that I'm really trying to push myself during this new pattern November is in following these directions, right? Because as a pattern designer myself, I want to make sure that even as I'm looking through my directions for my patterns, that they make sense for the average person. These directions were awful. I love the style. I will never make this pattern again. There is another pattern that's by Petite Stitchery that is similar to this. It's a pullover style where you can do a zip, you can do buttons, you can do snaps, and I will be using that instead because ain't no way. We can't do that again. All right, so let's get into a little bit of success, right? Should we? We should, because I was feeling terrible. So I did the Tazzy Tee last week as well, and I did do a sew along for it. I put the sew along right here so that you can go ahead and jump in there if that style works for you. Y'all, the Tazzy Tee one is such a beautiful pattern. Like the drama on the sleeve is everything. I used a bamboo lycra, and oh, it is beautiful. And I did it in a beautiful neutral color, so I really love that I will be able to utilize this this piece throughout the year. It'll be fantastic. I highly recommend making the Tazzy Tee. Fantastic. I also did put together a tutorial on my website because I understand that sometimes doing video is just not for everyone. So I did go ahead and add a tutorial to theneedleandthebell.com. If you are looking for that, I have dropped the link in the description area of this video. And also, if you decide to make the Tazzy Tee, which I think you should, definitely tag me in it so that I can see your makes and I can show you some love. Let's get into the Marlowe shawl, the Marlowe shawl collar cardigan. So I was originally making this for my husband, and I neglected to remember that this was a unisex pattern. Now, typically with unisex patterns, the sizing is a little bit different than, say, a standard sizing women's pattern or a standard sizing men's pattern, simply because the blocks are different. Now, because I forgot to kind of re-navigate that, I made the pattern a little too small for my husband, so my best friend is getting a new pattern. I mean, a new cardigan. So yay for her. But as far as that pattern goes, it was very easy to navigate, very easy to put together. Love the Marlowe, but I also love pretty much all of the Petite Stitchery patterns. I also test for them, so I already know going in that their tutorials are going to be pretty good. So let's get into the bralette that I made. I did do the Dana Bralette instead of the Jordy Bralette. Now, last week I did mention that I was going to be doing the Jordy Bralette for my daughter by Emerald Erin Sews, and I wanted to do it. My only issue is it's challenging for me to find age-appropriate fabrics to use for her, right? Because I don't think that 12-year-olds are supposed to be out there wearing lace and mesh and all of these more sexy like fabrics. And so that was kind of challenging for me to find fabrics. So I did just go ahead and use the Dana Bralette because I could use a cotton spandex or cotton lycra for it. Now, I did love how easy that pattern went together. It's by Seamwork. It went together very easily. And honestly, at 12, she doesn't need like a whole lot of support. However, it did highlight that there is such a huge difference in between her rib cage size and her breast size. So trying to navigate what that looks like and trying to make sure that I find a pattern that is going to support both her breast size in addition to her rib cage is like so small. She's tiny. So I do think that I will be doing the Jordy Bralette because I think that will provide a better fit because the Jordy Bralette does have cup sizes in it, whereas the Dana is just kind of like small, extra small, medium, large, and it doesn't accommodate for a small rib cage in larger breast size. So that is something that I will actually be going back to doing this week, which is that Jordy Bralette. So let's get into the patterns that we're going to be sewing this week. Okay. So this week I'm actually working on a lot of tests. So y'all, I'm in like 1,000 tests this week, right? So I've got 3 tests for Made for Mermaids, and I'm really excited about them. I have 4 tests for Petite Stitchery, and it's really going to be leveling up some loungewear around here. I really liked these Petite Stitchery lounge sets because my daughters are like, well, mommy, we need something to wear around the house. And I'm like, y'all do need something to wear around the house. So these patterns are perfect for that. And then I also do have an evening wear test for Patterns for Pirates, which I'm excited about too, because I have a black tie wedding that's coming up, and sis needs something to wear. And I haven't been to black tie in forever. So very, very excited about that option as well. Now, as far as new patterns to try out this week, there are not going to be that many, simply because I want to make sure that I'm able to complete these tests. Most of them will be done actually today on Monday because, procrastination, Patty, whatever. But this week I really want to focus on some of the tissue patterns that I have. So the first one is my girl Brittany, and this is her Know Me pattern. This is pattern number 2002, and I'm going to be making View A, which is the long sleeve shirt version right here. Very excited about this because I saw her when we shot it, and it is a fantastic pattern. One of the things that I really love is I love how on this longer version on A, it like comes in and there's like a side split, which I'm here for. I already have the fabric picked out for this. It's going to be fantastic. One of the other patterns that I'm going to be focusing on is this McCalls 8255. And I'm going to be doing this View D down here. I'm a little excited about this. Now, this one also comes in the digital version. I'll drop a link to it below as well if you're like, hey, I want to try it out, but I might be in Canada or the UK. This one comes in a digital pattern as well. So I'm going to be doing this View D. It features princess seams, and then it has a separating zipper in the back. And I actually have separating zippers. Go figure. I have no idea why. And then we're going to also do a button-down shirt. This is Simplicity 8427. My husband has been asking me to make him button-down shirts for the longest time, and I don't know why I steer clear from them, right? Because I did do a shacket earlier this year, and I put all of those buttons on there. I did the back yoke flawlessly, no problem. So I don't know why I'm steering clear of this pattern, but because of that, we're going to do this. And I'm going to do this in a lightweight chambray for him because I really feel like chambray is like one of those fabrics that is really, we got to stop using it just for summer because like it's fantastic. I really love this color that Norris has on here too. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to make sure that we make a dope pattern for my husband because I feel like last week was just a huge fail for him. Now, I do have 2 stretch goals for myself this week. The first stretch goal piece is Helen's Closet's new jeans. I am a huge supporter and huge fan of Helen's Closet patterns. I love her patterns. I think that, one, I'm also like biased because I think she's really dope. If you don't know, Helen's Closet is also one half of the Love to Sew podcast, and I just think that she's amazing. So I want to do her new jeans that just dropped last week, and then I also want to do the Closet Core Kalle Shirt dress. Now I have and I'm going to show you the fabric that I've had. I picked this out a while ago. So I have this fabric that I bought. I bought this specifically for that shirt dress, and it's just sitting here. So I figured that if I have some extra time or even extra buttons, right, from doing this simplicity pattern for my husband, then maybe it will inspire me and make me feel like I can go ahead and get done that Closet Core shirt dress as well. Sometimes I really think that I have a fear of things for no particular reason. Like why be afraid of these things? So those are the patterns that I would like to do this week. This weekend coming up on November 19th is the Melanated Fabrics Friendsgiving, which I am so geeked about. Why? Because I get to meet all of the other Know Me pattern designers that I haven't already met before. Like Nefertiti and I know each other, and we are like BFFs, and we talk on the phone all the time. Julian and I know each other. I have not seen him in person, but I cannot wait to hug his neck. And like, of course, Brittany and I know each other. Norris and I know each other. Lindsay from the Stitch Fix and we know each other. But I'm just so excited to see all of the other people who I haven't had the opportunity to like hang out with and bond with as well. And see these makers and these fabulous designers in person. So I'm super excited about that. It's sure to be a great time. All right, friends, we are coming to the end of this video. If you haven't already, don't forget to like this video and comment with a little bit of love, and turn on the notifications for my channel so that you can be notified when a new video drops. And if you're sewing some new patterns this week, don't forget to tag me so that I can go ahead and show you some love. All right, and that is it for me. If you have not already, subscribe to my channel, you know, all of that fun jazz, share a video. You know, creators need your support. All right, that's it for now. Have a great week.